And we are live here. So now this Lamar Jackson situation that's been going on is getting interesting. You got two camps. You got one camp that says they give him all his money. He earned it. He was the MVP. Look, this other quarterback's worse than getting paid. He needs his money. This is racist. This is whatever. For whatever reason, they believe he should get his money. Then you also have the camp where people are saying that, hey man, he's been hurt the past 2 years. Why should he get this amount of money? What he should hire an agent. He's his style of play. He's more of a running back than he is a quarterback. Different things, different things. So you got two camps. Rich Eisen is pretty decent at giving a balanced report. He's kind of an old school report. He's kind of not as biased as you know, we all got biases. I'm not saying he's never biased, but he's not as biased as a lot of a lot of broadcast, especially it's just kind of I guess that's why he's doing his own thing. He's got his own show, yada yada yada. And Robert Griffin III, he actually played in the NFL. He was a rookie of the year, similar running style to Lamar Jackson. Was a high draft pick, even higher than Lamar. I think Lamar went at the end of the first round. Robert III was the second pick behind actually, and he won where he actually beat out Andrew Luck for rookie of the year. So even though Andrew Luck went on to have a better career per se, they both careers ended short. You have to give props to Robert Griffin III. That before his injury, he was showing a lot. I hear this perspective. I chose this topic. I know I don't always talk about sports as much as I used to on the old channel, but sports is a good microcosm of things in society are derived from sports, whether people know it or want to admit it or not. And we can kind of take certain situations from the sports world and look at them for what they are in the current world, and we could make determinations basically on how society is going, how we feel about certain things, how we are projecting to our everyday life. So let's just go into it real quick here.
Non-exclusive franchise tag tender placed in front of him, and a bunch of teams, when responding to requests for an answer, immediately said, we're not interested in Lamar. You started throwing quite a bit of collusion concepts out there on your Twitter feed. Do you think there's collusion going on right now to keep Lamar Jackson from an offer sheet being signed? Do you think?
Rich, I don't think there's collusion from him signing an offer sheet. I think what Jim Irsay said about guaranteed contracts and how he has looked at it.
Now, notice how he worded that. He's saying, I don't think there's collusion for our sheet, because what some people would say is that it because he's already under contract, he's already signed to a team. So for those who don't know what he was, for those who don't know collusion is basically when corporations or individuals are basically illegally, get together to keep someone out of something that is their right, as far as work, whatever it may be, which is illegal. I'm kind of throwing a word salad here. Let's just actually get the definition of collusion. Let's do it like that, because I think I know the definition, but for some reason I'm at a loss of words, and we are live running this, whatever it may be. Let's look up collusion. All right, so collusion, the art of this can't be it. Okay, let me see here. I think I got it typed in wrong here. All right, just bear with me. Boom, boom. So secret agreement or fraudulent or harmful purchases. So you can't have secret agreements, especially in pro sports. Any corporate setting it's going to basically be this fraudulent. This goes against what's agreed upon. That's in the open. In the open, it's supposed to be a free market based upon your abilities and skills. What people are trying to say is that he's being colluded against, because he's obviously qualified to get the money he's asking for, close to it, and he's not even getting an opportunity or offer when there are people who are less talented than him who have gotten bigger offers. Since it's Daniel Jones, quarterback for the New York Giants, is signed for $160 million. Do you have others that may Deshaun Watson's, some would say he's not as good as quarterback, whatever it may be. But this is kind of what the way society works, is that the so-called people that we think that are on top, that we believe that are examples, what happens is the real elites usually take those people to make them examples. So though the reason you feel, or people may feel, that it's an element of racism, I wouldn't say racism, I would say more so just discrimination, because they feel that because if you say racism, they're going to say, wait a minute, we just had a Super Bowl with 2 black quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes making this, yada yada yada. They can throw these examples, but Lamar, what they not is nuances. Lamar is he don't look like them, even though they black, like technically black like him. We all is different within, there's differences in the culture. We all from different areas. We got different swag. Lamar Jackson is not he doesn't look like Jalen Hurts. He doesn't look like a Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't look like any of these guys you would typically see, like the button up, even the old school quarterbacks, the Randall Cobb, the Randall, I'm not saying Randall Cobbs, Randall Cunninghams, Warren Moon. He doesn't have that. He has more of an urban type look, they would say, urban. He has more of a, he's got the locks, whatever. The way, he got the southern swag when he talk. He real invest in the hip hop community. He'll clap back at fans. He kind of, he'll clap back at fans, things of that nature. So they don't. He's not. He look more. He not look at the same as a Russell Wilson. But let's just continue to listen here.
In the MLB and the NBA, and how it just hasn't been good for business. I think it's a universal thought process amongst all of the NFL owners. So for all these teams to say, we'll go get Jimmy G, we'll go get Deshaun Watson, we would pay Joe Burrow all of this money, and all of those guys have all been injured in their careers, and it's never prevented a team from going out and getting them. So I truly believe that this Lamar Jackson thing isn't that teams don't want him as a player. It's not that they don't think he's a phenomenal talent. Heck, the Washington Commanders GM Martin Mayhew even came out and said, "Oh, he's a special guy, but we're not interested." Ron Rivera said, "We didn't even look into it."
Now that's the part I want to get to. JJ Watt commented on this too. Now what they're saying is that it's unusual. What's unusual about this is different with Lamar in those situations, that you have teams that need a quarterback, the most important position in football, coming out of nowhere. Not even no one's even asking them in some cases, and just saying flat out, we're not interested in Lamar Jackson. We don't have any interest in Lamar Jackson. We don't whatever. And I know some could say, well, he's under contract, but you never seen teams do that in this situation. They're going out of their way to say they don't want to deal with Lamar Jackson. As it stands here today, he has no official offers. I know there's some rumors maybe with the Colts and things of that nature. There's no official offers. So getting back to let's kind of swing this back to real life right here. When you don't follow the status quo in society, when you refuse to pick, this basically what we do. The goal of this channel is to challenge the extremes to get back to life balance. When you don't go with the status quo, which Lamar, whether you agree or not with what Lamar's doing, I'm not going to get into too much, even my own personal opinion. We're just going to talk about this situation at hand. When you choose to go against the status quo, even with how you look and how you talk, they want to make examples of you. They want to show that you have to get in line with how we do things. If you don't, you cannot do business here. We don't care. We choose that over winning. The difference between what we have to understand as Black people, right? The reason why other nations don't get disrespected, that don't how we do, is because they make a stance. They make a united stance. They make a united stance. They don't tolerate it. We don't have a united stance. They can be divided and still make a united stance. So with the NFL situation, with this, there's no. If you listen to even Black commentators and different commentators, they all got different opinions. Like I said, you got some people saying that, well, he shouldn't be paid that much because his style, his working place has nothing to do with his race. Some people say yes, it has something to do with his race. It's a blah 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 blah. Well, it can't. You got so many different sides of the spectrum about this, but at the end of the day, what is being made clear that we cannot argue about is that because his mom is his agent, which I'll get into later, because his mom is his agent, because his style of play or whatever. He's got a very rhythmatic style, natural intuition style, but he can do the other things as well. Because of these different things, all right? Because of those different things, what happens is that because he's not aligning with status quo, they're making it clear that if you don't play the way we want to play, you can't play. If you don't play by our rules, you can't play at all. That's what's being made evident with this situation. So whether you think he should get the money or not, they're not. See, the issue isn't that he's not on a team or not getting the money he's want anymore. He's not even sniffing anything. He signed, he's on a franchise tag. Basically, that's a like marking your slave, whatever. Like, hey, this is our slave. Letting all the other slave owners know that, hey, this is our slave. We have rights to him. He's not up for trade. But basically, he's stuck. And because he's not capitulating to, there's people saying that if he had an agent, he would have had a deal. Probably so. I can't disagree or agree. But why would he have to have if it's his life and there's already parameters set? There's others in any other field you can look at and you can look at someone in your same field, look at their pay grade, and you can go and have a negotiation without an agent. You can say, hey, listen, you guys, let's say you're a coder. You can say, hey, I know coders at Google getting paid this much. This is what I've done. This is my resume, which is Lamar's resume. He said, hey, I'm an MVP. I've done this. You can compare me to these other people who work in this field, blase, and I should at least get this. That's very simple. You don't need. I understand the nuances of an agent do, but let's just stick with the getting money part. That's very simple. But let's go. Let's listen to some more.
If that doesn't sound like collusion or like a concerted effort to not even give a guy an opportunity who is raging against the machine to sign an offer sheet, I don't know what is. And as you know, I've been very vocal about it, and I'm more than willing to continue to dive into it with you.
So yeah, no, absolutely, because I think Washington should do it. But I'm also
fair use. By the way, shout out Rich Eisen. Check out his channel. Like I said, he's old school, one of the original sports center guys.
So not privy to any of their conversations where maybe after Carson Wentz and everything else that they tried, they're like, we did. Why can't they just really dig Sam Howell, and go in that direction? And then we'll find out later on what a silly move that was, as Lamar finally does wind up on another team and is hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. And the same thing with Desmond, Ritter in Atlanta. We had Thomas Dimitroff on. I'm like, walk me through why they're not interested in Atlanta, best of your knowledge, knowing the front office. And he's like, well, they just got out of cap hell that he kind of put them in. And he said, we'll have a conversation later on as to the reasons why he did what he did when he was GM there. But they finally just got out of it. They drafted the kid. They loved the kid.
So it's funny he brings up Atlanta. As we all know, that's where Michael Vick played at. Michael Vick is Lamar Jackson's idol growing up, quarterback that he loved. And who people would read. Well, some people say they have similar games. I would say running style they do, but they really very different. Lamar's a better thrower than Michael Vick was. He doesn't. I don't know as far as the strength of arm. Maybe because Lamar's got a pretty good arm. He's more accurate than people give him credit for. But he's a better thrower overall than Michael Vick. But I think Michael Vick was more even dynamic as a runner. Now, I know a lot of y'all can put up the stats and say Lamar got the records, whatever. But you got to understand, the offense Lamar and they design runs from. Michael Vick was doing all of that with no plays designed from the run. He was just doing it off the hip. If he played like that in this era, it'd be crazy. But the thing is with Lamar Jackson, with what's going on in this situation, is that, like going back to what Robert Griffin III was just saying, the where he's trying to point out where the collusion is in a sense is that he's not even getting the opportunity. No one's giving him an offer. You're talking about a former MVP. You're talking about a guy who was who has the single season record for rushing yards. Like I said, let's compare it to the real world. In the real world, you can take your resume. This is without an agent, because they're trying to say, oh, he needs an agent. You can take your resume in the real world, what you've done, what you've accomplished, compared to your colleagues. Go to a company that needs that position. Keep in mind, the quarterback is the most important position. That is a position of need, and you will find employment without an agency. Now, would an agency help you? Of course it would, but you can do that in your normal everyday life. But they're saying that this man who has all the credentials, who in a league where the quarterback is where his position is most important, in a league where the difference between winning and losing is a quarterback, they're saying that, oh, no one's interested. And they're coming out and saying it. I think what a lot of people are missing, they're trying to say that for whatever reasons. Yeah, okay, if they were, the thing is this, right? If you want to say, I don't want to sign him because I don't want to give up the first round picks, or I don't want to pay him the guaranteed money, or whatever reason you have, that's fine. You own the team, you have the right to have those reasons. Where the unusual thing is, a lot of former players are saying it's getting kind of missed and kind of just skipped over by a lot of these sports shows, is that he is not even being. They're coming out. They're going out of their way to say they're not interested in him, and there's not even strong rumors or interest being shown in him, when obviously he is a player that he's a top 10 quarterback at worst in the league of 32 at worst. Some people would say 5, whatever. I think the worst case scenario is top 10. And he's not even getting an opportunity. so what's not really being addressed is that the thing is this, man. All of when you see what's going on with Lamar Jackson, every time you say or debunk one of these excuses, Louis Riddick came on. Let me see if I can find a Let's actually go to the Louis Riddick. Let me try to find that. I want to find that because Louis Riddick, he was a former NFL GM. Okay, he debunked a lot of this stuff. Let's go to Louis Riddick. Let me see here. Louis Riddick. Because what everybody's missing is that, he it's not, okay, if he doesn't get a guaranteed contract, or people don't want to they don't
Which
want to give
teams
it
do
to
you
him.
think should come out?
Okay, so this is Louis Riddick talking here. We just listened to we just listened to Robert Griffin III. The thing is, man, is that it's one thing, like I said, the reasons that I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna say give him I can understand the team not wanting to give him guaranteed money or a big contract or give up first round picks for him because of his style of play or whatever it may be. I can understand that if they want to choose that. I can understand that. All right. I can understand all those reasons. So if you want to say all those reasons, he's a whatever. Now I was trying to say he's a running back playing quarterback. I don't want to hear that's stupid. You never watched him play in college or actually watch him throw the ball? Really don't want to hear that. That's dumb. I think his shortcomings is more the offense. Was more the offense. They leaned into his ability to run instead of trying to make a more balanced offense for him. But none of that none of those excuses, right? You can say what you want to say. None of those have anything to do with the fact is, why are y'all coming out making it a point to say you don't want this man? Basically, y'all saying that, hey, basically what they telling him is that you got to do business how we do business. See, agents, the way what some of those that know I played football. I worked out for the NFL and whatnot. So I know this world. Okay. The thing is that the way it works, right? Because I had an agent myself. I know, lowly undrafted guy. You still gotta have an agent. I was undrafted, and still needed an agent just to get a sniff. Okay. So if you can if you're an MVP and you're a quarterback. Now I know there's been guys like Richard Sherman and other guys, even Roquan Smith, I believe his name is, on his team that didn't have an agent. They're not quarterbacks. It's a whole different league. The quarterback is the face of the franchise. They're sending a strong, clear-cut message to Lamar that we don't even want you to be the face of our franchise. But if you're going to be the face of our franchise, you're going to have to be the face of our franchise our way. Do it our way. Do it how you want us to do it. And they put out these narratives about this brother. Oh, he's a running back playing quarterback. That's not true. You're not going to win an MVP as a running back playing quarterback. The man threw for 30-something touchdowns and ran. I mean, come on now, stop it. So the reasons it's being given for him not being given his money, whatever it may be, I understand the validity in some pockets, but like I said, the issue that they're not addressing is these teams are coming, and that's just one of them. I'm going to get to the others. These teams are making it a point to go out of their way to say they don't want it. We've never seen that. Show me any time where you see teams going out of their way to say they don't want a former MVP in his prime that may be available. Show it to me. Does not exist. We see what this is. We know what time this is. Does not exist. And like I said, let's bring it back to real life. Any situation in real life where you have the resume, you have the credentials, you have the skills to where you are able to go and demand a certain wage, there's no problem with it. If you're in tech and you're a coder or you're a computer programmer, you have a good resume, you work at these companies, you say, hey, I worked at Google, I worked there. You compare yourself with other colleagues, and they're going to slot you in with that salary. A lot of these talking heads, what they're not telling, like I said, I didn't make it to the NFL, but I worked out for the NFL. They're not going to mention. Only one person I heard brought it up. The salaries are kind of slotted anyway. They've been slotted. The need of an agent has been overrated. Let's say I understand what they're saying. You know, the agent can help, but the salaries are slotted. Basically, what has been going on is the next man up. Okay, Kyler Murray got this. Lamar should get this. Deshaun. So when Deshaun got that contract, and then it was Lamar trying to sell that contract, say, okay, I'm a better quarterback than him. Boom, boom, boom. That's when it stopped. It stopped not just with Lamar, but people forget that Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, when it signed for less, they didn't take guaranteed contracts after that to put everything back in their place. And those two guys, obviously a different flavor than Lamar. It's just a different flavor brother than Lamar. All right, a different flavor brother than Lamar. Russell Wilson, especially Russell Wilson. I don't know about Kyler Murray. Maybe Kyler Murray a little bit in that vein. Way different flavor. And what happened? What happened was it wasn't even no squabble. They just took that. Well, Kyler Murray was a little bit, but it wasn't the guaranteed money was never an issue. Before Lamar could even get up and raise his hand, they had already said we're not doing no more. There was an outlier. They basically cussed out the Browns owner for giving Deshaun Watson that money and said that this not going to be happening here, not on our watch, not here in the NFL plantation. And for those who want to say, well, how can you compare? Listen. A lot of y'all history on slavery is skewed. A lot of slaves did get paid. Now, I would be willing to do it. If anyone wants to challenge me on this, I want to do an economic breakdown as far as percentage wise. Y'all don't understand how much money they make in sports. It's not like a lot of money that they pay. They're not making the money in the NBA and NFL. Doc can speak for those two for sure. They're not making the money in comparison to the money they're generating. They're making a very low amount compared to them, and they're risking their health. No, look, is it a privilege too? Yeah, I'm not trying to say it's like that, but you gotta understand, especially towards the end of slavery, even when the Emancipation Proclamation came and the so-called were set free. Everybody didn't leave the plantation. Some slaves was happy to stay on the plantation, saw it as a privilege and saw it was an easy life, believe it or not, because they was used to that. So same thing with this NFL thing. We assume because they're making all this money, we can just say, oh, it's not slavery. And I'm not, and we're not saying that it's slavery in a sense like where it's they don't have a choice, but it can the way that they're being treated, the plantation mentality is ever present. Now, it's easy to say you don't have a choice, but imagine this. You train your whole life. You don't dedicate your whole life. And I know from being a former athlete, a pro athlete, you have to dedicate your life to your craft. Okay. You're not going to get to even a college level without having a high level of dedication, even a small college level without having a high level of dedication to your skill and craft. So once you go through the ranks of high school and college and you spent already at a young age, you spent pretty much 90% of your life in this sport, learning this sport. You have a choice, yeah, but you technically kind of don't have a choice if you're at the pro level, because you're done with school now. You're done with school now. That was really your major. You're not going to make that nowhere near that money do anything else at that point. So you kind of gotta go do that. You kind of shoehorned in that. it's some people talk about backup plan like, well, it ain't no when you going for that go, ain't no backup plan. Let's listen to Lewis Riddick. He's going to talk about some of these misconceptions people got about Lamar at quarterback. Let's go there because it's a lot of false narratives being put out there.
Out and go for it and do it and figure out this Rubik's Cube in the manner that the Ravens couldn't. That maybe Lamar gives them an idea of what he said no to and what the Ravens were causing him to say no to, and they can figure it out. Which teams do you think should go for it?
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe Atlanta has already said no. But that would be...
Now, wait, Atlanta. Let's talk about Atlanta. Who the Atlanta got at court? Desmond, come on, man. Look, maybe he'll develop and be something. I didn't see no. Even if Desmond Ridder develops to be his highest ceiling potential, from what I've seen, I watched him a couple of games. It still won't be better than Lamar Jackson. And they just coming out saying no, we not with it. They just coming out they come out say they come out and just saying no, we don't want Lamar Jackson. Come on, man. Let's just go. Let's go.
Absolutely freaking perfect. I mean, the system that Arthur runs down there, Arthur Smith, is perfect for Lamar. Oh my God, it's perfect. A run-centric.
Now, let's focus on this Atlanta thing. What he said is true, man. That system is perfect for Lamar. So let's switch it to real world. Imagine that you're whatever profession you're in. Let's say you're an engineer. Let's say you're a let's say you're an engineer, right? You're a mechanical engineer, whatever you want to be, an engineer, okay? And your contract is up with a company. Your contract is up with that company. That company is not really showing interest in you, but another company, the rival company, however, the rival company is they're hiring. They not only have they've been hiring for that same position for a while. That position's been vacant for years or months, whatever it may be. That position is vacant there. They're hiring. That company's hiring. They need what you do. You've already proven yourself to be excellent at what you do, right? Imagine it. So this company hiring. They've been broadcasting. They may even sent you some love on the some. You might even know recruiters there because everybody, it's the NFL, they know each other. You might even know people there, whatever, at that company, and HR, and in that company. But look, you still with the other company, right? You still with the company you with right at the current time, but you're not that. You know when your contract's up, you're gonna have to bounce. And that company that has a need for you knows what you do. They have a need. Your skills fit that company's job. You fit what that company can do to a T, and that company's in need of what you do, and they flat out, before you even talk to them, get an interview or do anything, just flat out come out and say, we're not interested. We're good here. And you know damn well they're not good there. You're going to feel some type of way. So let's go.
Now, I'm not talking quarterback run-centric. A running back run-centric, 12 personnel, 13 personnel on first and second down, multiple tight ends. I mean, I think people know, what we're talking about here. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, 3 tight ends, 1 wide receiver, where they love to smash the football, get the quarterback out on the perimeter off of play action, easy throws over the middle, deep shots down the outside because you're pounding people, getting 8 people in the box, getting one-on-one coverage. And then when you need him to maybe say, hey, look, I need you to give us some of that magic now. So now we're going to run quarterback boot. We're going to run a keeper, and we're going to need you to take off. Now we're going to run quarterback power down here on the goal line like Ryan Tannehill used to do when Arthur Smith was calling plays in Tennessee, and we're going to be the most deadliest offense in the red zone in the NFL with you because we add that extra component of your legs to the game plan. Are you kidding? He'd be perfect there. But they're not interested. Washington. Look at the weapons that are in Washington.
No doubt. No doubt.
I mean, the guys on the perimeter, Lamar is like saying, why can't I have some of that? Why can't I have some of those guys?
Right.
Something like a Terry McLaurin. Why can't I have, that kind of person to be able to, in Jahan Dotson, I'm just sitting here, I'm drawing a blank on the names.
Samuel, all of them, man. Oh,
why can't I have those kind of dudes?
Fast.
And why can't we construct a run-heavy 12, 13, 11 personnel, even even regular 21 personnel type of offense to where Lamar's under center.
They got
Lamar's
Robinson Jr.
gun.
Oh, yeah, Robinson
go.
Jr. and the rest of that team. I love those ideas. It's just that you're going to need, I think, Arthur Blank to go in. We had Thomas Dimitrov on the other day, Lewis, and he's like, his read of the situation was there used to be a guy there who put him in cap hell, and they're just out of it, referring to himself, and that they kind of, dig that they're not.
So basically, man, like Lewis making some good. Now this is a GM, former GM that's talking, Lewis Riddick. He's basically telling you he can't come out because he still works, he's still connected, so he's not gonna just come out and flat out say it. But he's basically saying this is awkward. There's some cap going on here. I find it hard to believe that they all just not interested in this man, and he's in the prime of his career. And yeah, I know he got hurt the last 2 years, but the last season he could have came back, and it was this situation. Had this situation not been there, he would have came back, I believe, with a few games to go and the playoffs. You got to understand that. I'm gonna wrap it up like this. All right. What you have to understand is that if even you should be watching, even millionaires, right? Even these millionaire athletes, right? They not truly free. And if the millionaire, the top of society, even we've seen it with entertainers, with cancel culture, we've seen it with entertainment, like they're not truly free. LeBron so-called has $1 billion, but if LeBron said one statement that nobody liked, they can just like that. We just saw Kanye was a multi-billionaire. They just tuck it like that. Okay. They want to send a message through this situation to others that if you not only have to play by our rules, but you have to play the way we want you to play and play with who we want you to play with. That's the message that's being sent. It's bigger than Lamar Jackson in a football team. They don't want you to think that they're not going to let you guys come in here and run the league the way you want to run it. Now they're going to let you create your own league at this point. The only solution is revolution. I'm not just saying it because I'm a Panther, but that's the only solution. Even if a lot of y'all be talking about because y'all think black capitalism is the answer and that getting their own league is the answer. And I've been one of those that made those statements as well. The problem is this: these leagues, NFL, NBA, and these other leagues, even I think even MLB to an extent, they have monopolies. Like you can't just have a league. You got to get permission. They're going to tell you that's why when you see the XFL, all they ever since when the USFL came and was literally competing with the NFL, just back in the 70s or 80s, whatever, they weren't going to ever let that happen again. They locked all that up. It's all grit locked up. These teams, these leagues have a monopoly. They have a control. And it's not just them, it's whatever we want to do. We got to understand the situation we're in and understand that what we're getting into. Don't overestimate our power. I think Lamar kind of overestimated his power. I think he kind of overplayed his hand. Lamar, I believe he should get the money he deserves and whatever, but I think he overplayed his hand. And he didn't understand being a young black man. He has yet to understand that you can't. They're not gonna let you. They only gonna let you play your rules, but to a certain extent. They're not gonna let you come in and make the rules. They don't want you to come in with an inexperienced black woman. Yes, she's your mom, but they look at her as an inexperienced black woman as managing a franchise quarterback. Now, if you was a linebacker or something, they like linebackers, running backs like me. They use us up and get rid of us. So they could give it. That's why you can see Sherman, Richard Sherman, Roquan Smith, and Laramie Tunsil not have an agent, and they can kind of get away with it. They're not the faces of the franchise, and they understand that, and they actually use that. See, with y'all, this is the part y'all miss. Now, this is the part that everybody's missing. Okay, this is the part everybody missing about this agent excuse. It's to the team's advantage that he don't have an agent. They showing y'all that it's not about the money. They love it when the team they don't care. It's not about with you. they can put so much garbage in the contract. They can fluff it up. They can pull wool over his eyes and basically get over on him because his mom's not a trained agent. So business wise, that that's not the issue. The issue is that we want you to play the game we want you to play. The way we don't even want to give the idea that a leader, a franchise quarterback, especially a black quarterback, can have his own representation and get this done or get this done on his own. And if we do let you get it done, because it could get done. If we do let it happen, we're going to make you pay for it. We're going to make you lose a lot. We're going to send a clear message that we want this league ran the way we want it ran. It's bigger than him. It's bigger than Lamar Jackson. And like I said, sports is a microcosm of society. The things that are they're sending a message to. That's why you got listen to all these talking heads, all these sports talking heads talk about the situation. They're all saying, "Well, you should get an A." They all saying the company line one side. Of you got one side that's playing up a victim narrative for black people. When they love that because they can easily say, "Look how stupid y'all look." Deshaun Watson is black. Then you got one side that's playing a card of, well, he's not qualified. Look at him. He's a running back playing quarter. Look at how he moves. He's a high risk, whatever. And they basically getting you guys to think in the mindset of slaves on both sides. When the people who saying that he should get the money is underlying saying he should get it because he's the best and he deserves it. He's not the best quarterback. Lamar Jackson he's a top 10 quarterback. And I love Lamar Jackson, but he's not the best quarterback in the NFL. He's not even a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He's a top 7, I would say, quarterback, which is hell of great. But he's not that. And he's also he's worthy of this money. He's better than Deshaun Watson. So they're showing you that you got to play the way that we want you to play. Okay. And you got to understand, these same sports owners, look at what they own. They also have high stake in and ownership in most of your everyday products. So you can't just ignore this like it's a sports thing. They send the messages all the way around. Housing, everything. Housing, food, they buying out the housing, out the food. They want you to move a certain way. So it's up to you. We have to get some type of balance, get some type of unity amongst the people in general. The people in general, if we want true freedom. So with that being said, peace, love, life, and balance.